Let's get right to it. We're finna get right to it. Hold on. Yeah, let's get to it.
Jury verdict count one, murder in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie.
My bad, y'all.
And then she says, no joke.
Jury verdict count for second-degree burglary arson. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, not guilty of second-degree burglary arson in a place for the foreperson assigned. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, guilty of second-degree burglary arson in a place for the foreperson assigned. And the foreperson should sign only one of the above, one or two. If the verdict is not guilty, then one above should be signed. If the verdict is guilty, then two above should be signed. And again, as to this sheet, you should disregard the instructions to mark X in the appropriate box. As to jury verdict count for burglary arson verdict question form, if you find the defendant guilty of count number 4, first-degree arson, then you must also complete this section by marking X in these appropriate boxes, including your decision. Only one box may be filled in, with the remaining box left unmarked.
And that after the defendant moved him to make it look like self-defense. She's then told to go out to the car, sees the items that were taken by the defendant. They drive off to the gas station, they return, and that she stayed in there. And so you should look at all of that and say, what is the motive for that? And how is that consistent with self-defense, and how is it inconsistent?
Dang, y'all see it, man. Y'all see it.
What
Y'all
you
see
did,
it.
what you didn't do, if that's not the truth.
Yeah, they about to read out her.
Prong 4.
I just rewinded it. They about to read it out.
People have disproven
Read her verdict
self-defense
out.
if you believe that the defendant provoked
I get into the
this.
story of what she did after.
And I think there's ample evidence of that for you. And then prong 5. All the screw her up said nothing in the jail comparing these two women. She went back to the scene of the crime. Did not commit burglary in terms of theft. And we know that ring was taken. It was there on the bed. It was described.
So for anybody that don't know what's going on, basically this is about a woman that set her ex-boyfriend's house on fire, set the car on fire, not the car, but set the house on fire. I guess he ended up demising during the process, and they got footage of her following him the whole night. You know what I'm saying? He was out of some bar. She was pacing him out, watching him when he left the bar. She followed. She had a girlfriend with us, and the girlfriend was the driver, and they also got her charged. She was already came in and testified. They got her shackled up in a orange suit, so she gone away too. But I guess today they reading off the main person, which is her, Stacy Rodriguez. She the one that orchestrated it all. She put it all together, and you can see her on the video jumping out of the car, setting that fire, hopping back in the car. Yeah, she's off the chain, man. But yeah, let's listen to this verdict read out again.
At length by Lieutenant Cobb, that would have been opened at the time of that fire, that those items were out on the bed. We know that. We know that ring is gone based on Alan Dickerson. We know that ring was gone based on Hosanna Varela. And we know that phone was taken based on the lab and the Google takeout. There was a discussion of the phone being taken out as she went through his pockets. You also know that Detective Burrows testified at length that when he's watching surveillance video, he sees Chris bring out individual cards, not a full wallet. It actually supports Hosanna Varela, doesn't contradict her. So the fact she just called it a wallet doesn't mean things weren't taken, because Detective Burrows supported that based on his video examination at the bars. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to just think for a moment about burglary for the arson and the tampering with the body. How in the world are those consistent in any way with self-defense? They're not.
Your Honor, objection. Reapproach.
Sure. Objections overruled. Mr. Perla, go ahead and continue.
How are any of those crimes of burning the body consistent in any way with self-defense? They're simply not. And you get to look at the big picture, the totality.
Jury verdict count 3, tampering with a deceased human body. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, not guilty of tampering with a deceased body and a place for the foreperson assigned. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, guilty of tampering with a deceased body and a place for the foreperson assigned. The foreperson should sign only one of the above, one or two. If the verdict is not guilty, then one above should be signed. If the verdict is guilty, then two above should be signed, and you should mark X in the appropriate box. And again, disregard the language and as to that verdict form regarding marking X in the appropriate box. Jury verdict count 4, second-degree burglary arson. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, not guilty of second-degree burglary arson and a place for the foreperson assigned. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, guilty of second-degree burglary arson and a place for the foreperson assigned. And the foreperson should sign only one of the above, one or two. If the verdict is not guilty, then one above should be signed. If the verdict is guilty, then two above should be signed. And again, as to this sheet, you should disregard the instructions to mark X in the appropriate box. As to jury verdict count 4, burglary arson verdict question form, if you find the defendant guilty of count number 4, first-degree arson, then you must also complete this section by marking X in these appropriate boxes, including your decision. Only one box may be filled in, with the remaining box left unmarked. We further find, with respect to the verdict question for this count, as follows. Did the prosecution prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the structure burglarized by the defendant was a dwelling? There is a box for yes and a box for no, and a place for the foreperson assigned. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, not guilty of second-degree burglary theft and a place for the foreperson assigned. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stacy Marie Rodriguez, guilty of second-degree burglary theft and a place for the foreperson assigned. Again, the foreperson should sign only one of the above, one or two. If the verdict is not guilty, then one above should be signed. If the verdict is guilty, then two above should be signed. And again, disregard the statement regarding marking X on that form. Jury verdict count 5, burglary theft.
About to come in a minute, y'all. I'm gonna step on the show. I'm gonna step out. I wasn't even supposed to go live today. This is live right now. It's breaking news.
Verdict question. If you find the defendant guilty of count number 5, second-degree burglary theft, you must also complete this section by marking an X in the appropriate box indicating your decision. Only one box may be filled in, with the remaining box left unmarked. We further find, with respect to the verdict question for this count, as follows. Did the prosecution prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the structure burglarized by the defendant was a dwelling? There is a box for yes and a box for no, and a place for the foreperson assigned. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I have to announce who the alternate jurors are in this matter. The alternate jurors in this case are jurors 1915, Mr. Freemeyer, and juror 1885, Mr. Shar. I want to remind both of you that the designation for the alternate juror was selected before the parties and myself even knew who was summoned for jury service in this case. And this is by no means a reflection on your performance as a juror. You just happened to land in the designated seat that was designated before trial for the alternate jurors. In a moment, I will give you an opportunity to retrieve any personal belongings you may have in the jury room, and you will be excused temporarily with the thanks of the court. Now, I'm not discharging you from your jury service yet. I'm simply excusing you temporarily. Please continue to follow all of the instructions I have been giving you throughout the trial, because there is a chance that if one of the jurors deliberating unexpectedly becomes unavailable, I may be in a position to call on you to replace that juror. You may go about your lives as you were doing before you first reported for jury service, but you must continue to follow all of my instructions until my staff notifies you that you are discharged. All of my instructions will continue to apply to you until my staff notifies you otherwise. Mr. Freemeyer, do you understand those instructions? And do you agree to follow those instructions? All right. And Mr. Shar, do you understand those instructions? And do you agree to follow those instructions? All right, thank you both. Please, if both of you can make sure that we have good contact information for you so that we can get in touch with you, and we will let you know both whether or not your service is needed. And I'll also have my staff let both of you know the ultimate results of this trial. And thank you again. With that, I will swear in my bailiffs. Will both of you please come around and raise your right hand? Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that you will, to the utmost of your ability, keep this jury in some private and convenient place, that you will promptly direct all inquiries or questions that the jury may have to the court, and that you will return with them into court when they have agreed upon a verdict? All right, thank you. With that, please...
Jury as they retire from the room.
And we will be in recess pending deliberations of the jury.
My bad, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it, man. That's it, man. That's just the breaking news that popped out. Like I said, that's out right now. The news just came out, and so it's my job to deliver it. As soon as it come out, I will be hollering at y'all tomorrow at 6:30. That's why I'm not even gonna show my face today, because this is not my scheduled live stream. This was breaking news. But I'll holler at y'all tomorrow at 6:30. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it was. Get it, your boy. Get it, your boy. Yeah.